Ben, thank you so much for joining me. For everybody else, welcome to the WhatSales case studies and customer review sessions. Today we've got Ben Asquith from UK Pet Supplies, based north of the country near West Yorkshire. Ben, great to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Ben, today's session is it's all focused around the WhatSales journey. You've been with us now for a fair few months. Thank you for that. And you have been with Linnworks for quite a while. I'd like to first jump in, get a bit of background on yourself, a bit of intro, and then how the Linnworks journey has been for you.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, in total, so in terms of e-commerce, I've been going for nearly as scary as it is, 20 years now.
Wow. So you were the early bird.
Yeah, it was quite an early bird, really. Sort of went to university, and my dad had a pet shop that I worked in when I was younger, and I always had a bit of an interest in, computers, internet from the early days. When I was at university, I thought, why not do this sort of in the final year, sell stuff online? So my dad said, don't do it. So you do it then, don't you?
Yeah. As you do.
Go. Like a challenge. So yeah, it was quite early days really when we started. There wasn't a lot of software around, so we kind of a lot of stuff was manual back then. And then we did everything pet supplies basically to start with. It was all under ukpetsupplies.com, and we tried to do everything really, all just buying from wholesalers around the UK and local distributors and stuff, and sort of grow. But it's very competitive online, so we ended up probably over 12 years ago, and I think it was back in 2012, sort of cutting that back and concentrating on fewer things. One of those was mealworms, which is then when we launched the Chubby Mealworms brand. And I think it was probably just before that point, I can't remember, it was probably around that time when we started with Linnworks as well. So the time that we've been with Linnworks now is probably over 10 years. Well,
Wow.
Definitely be over 10 years. Yeah, so it's changed a lot in that time frame, obviously. I'm not sure how long Linnworks has been going, but we must be one of the oldest clients, I would have thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it was all desktop. It was all desktop based then, and then it transitioned to the online sort of interface, which is what we use now. But we needed a system back then, an order management system for order management, inventory management, listings as well. There wasn't a lot of software, a lot of competition to choose from, and there was certainly less so where I think you could do listings. And even now, there isn't a lot of solutions.
That's a really great feature in Linnworks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what. Onto how's business for you now?
It's not going too badly, to be fair. I don't think we can complain. It's challenging times for everybody. You can never be complacent or take anything for granted. You've got to always be looking forward, adapting, keeping an eye on the costs and the challenges, and looking for new solutions, new opportunities, new products, new markets. The online world, the IT world, whatever you want to call it, is just adapting and changing.
And in your journey for now, how important would you say is understanding profitability?
Oh, it's absolutely key. I mean, we have really struggled with that in the past, to be honest, because it's so difficult. The more products you do, the more different lines you do, and there's not enough hours in the day. So you kind of got all this data to kind of somehow try and manage, try and look at it, and try and figure out the profitability. We can sell stuff. You always say any fool can sell stuff. You can take 10 million in revenue. No bother, anybody could. But can you make money on that? That is the key thing. And there's so many different there's so many different aspects making up your profitability. Your cost price, your VAT, your packaging, the shipping, channel fees. you try to do that. It's difficult.
And it is. And I can resonate with that 100%, Ben. When I was a seller, I had the same challenges selling in the UK, pan Europe, across the US. I couldn't even figure out, how much am I spending in fees, in refunds and commissions and state market taxes and clawback fees and God knows what fees just every single month is being fired at me. And then at the end of the month, assuming that you've made X and then you turn up with Y. That for me was the driving force behind starting the whole WhatSales journey as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've tried it myself, sort of looked at doing really complicated Excel spreadsheets, putting everything together to try and work it. But it takes time. You're like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it next week. I'll do it the month after. And it just takes time. And then you finally get around to doing it. You put all the data in. But then, the fees are changing all the time. So it's out of date before you started. And then you might, you think, oh, brilliant, we're doing great on this particular line. 6 months later, you realize actually I've been making no money on that. You kind of have to be on the ball.
It's so true for so many sellers. We've got another Linnworks customer who in 2023 assumed one of their products was a fantastic seller. It's been selling great. They've been reordering. And now come Jan, Feb 2024, they realized that that very product has been their biggest negative revenue leader. It's the product with the most refunds, the most fees, the most commissions, the most everything. So what they assumed they made, they actually haven't.
I can believe it, because when you're busy, you're caught up in the moment. You're busy. So, that just takes over, and so you're just like, oh, this is brilliant, but then, and you're like, oh, I'll double check it later. And
that later never comes.
Later is 6 months,
Absolutely. Ben, this conveniently brings us on to WhatSales. Firstly, thank you. You've been with us for a while. You're part of our inner circle. You influence a lot of the things on our roadmap. How has the experience been for you, and what does WhatSales do and mean for you?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, initially, when I became aware of WhatSales, I think it was just a Linnworks email actually, where it popped up and I saw it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I immediately thought, hold on, what's this? I clicked on it. I thought, is this what I've been? Is this what I've been sort of looking for all this time? So I clicked on a link, went through to the website, signed up instantly, put it in. I was like, this looks really seriously promising here. This, there's got to be a catch. What's the catch? There's always something that doesn't quite work, that isn't right. Put it all in, and it pulled all the data in. There's a lot of data in there. Initially, I started looking through things, and there's some areas I thought, well, that doesn't quite match up. And then I have to say, for a few hours, I was like, perhaps this isn't the golden egg or whatever I was sort of thinking about. But I thought, stick with it. And I sent a couple of emails to you guys, and literally the responses came straight away. Explanations. The data takes time to work its way through, and I have to say, genuinely, this has been one of the most sort of, most positive experiences in terms of customer service that I have, because wherever there has been something lacking or it's not quite worked, it's been fixed, and not like in months. You're talking a day, 2 days, and what I say, you just get the responses and things happen, and so I have to say, genuinely, it's been a great experience from that. And with something like this, you've got to have the confidence in the data, because if you don't have the confidence,
absolutely,
there's no point. You're just like, so you're not going to take care of it. You're not going to look at it. You're just going to be like, oh, it's another inaccuracy. So there's inaccurate data everywhere. It's just confusion and noise. Whereas when I look in WhatSales now, I'll sort of drill into the orders, and I did it quite a lot to start with, and I'll compare the figures, about, okay, it's saying that I've got this, it's saying I've made this. Is that true? And I'll go into it, and I'm like, Okay, that's accurate. That's accurate. And you know that generally are now. You know, you're within probably less than 1 or 2%, and there's a couple of little areas you can tweak on, but you know, most of the inaccuracies is now it's probably from our side as opposed to from your side.
So not only are we delivering profitability, we're increasing your efficiency.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. And
Well,
it makes us more efficient in itself, because when you suddenly got a system that you trust and you see the numbers in there and you believe them, then it makes you more willing to keep your own data accurate yourself, because it's all feeding into a bigger ecosystem, which is, I'd say, inspiring. I don't know if that's the right word, but it focuses you. Probably it focuses you to be like, okay, we can make decisions based on this, and that's more exciting. You know, it's nice to see a profitability figure, and when there are issues, they're flagged instantly. You know, we can see it and we can fix it. You know, in a couple of minutes. If we're losing money on a product that we didn't know, you see it quickly and you change it, and it's done. And that, you know, it's a good feeling, to be honest, as a business owner, that you can kind of, problems are going to be flagged up for you to fix without you doing anything as such.
that is just so wonderful to hear. Thank you for that. And you're bang on right. There's been so many instances now where sellers feel that, oh, I'm making 18% net on this or 20% net, and they haven't factored in refund commissions from a marketplace, or they haven't factored in refund fees or referral fees, and suddenly their 25% net drops down to 16% net. It suddenly opens up that, okay, I need to be far more efficient on this product, and that's forcing them to speak to their suppliers or manufacturing desk and enhancing the product. So I completely agree. I know we had recently a session where we were talking about the performance side of things of WhatSales, which really differentiates us with, would say, a spreadsheet, where not only do we bring about the profitability numbers, but we're looking at the why behind it as well. How has performance analytics from WhatSales, would you say, in your own words, helped you in your business?
It just makes you more aware, I think so, really. And just, you know, we've had sort of conversations, a couple of calls with you on it, and it's really interesting to see sort of your take on it. You know, I'm sort of insulated. I'm in my world, in our warehouse doing our little thing, and you know, we think we're doing a good job, but you don't really know. So then when you sort of, you know, you log into a system like this, you see the figures, you see the sort of, you know, the performance sides and how they're comparing with, you know, similar companies or similar businesses within the same sort of sector as you. So that's reassuring. And then you talk to like people like yourself, and you're like, oh, this is you know, you got a good business here, Ben. You're like, I'm glad somebody thinks so.
And you're very right, Ben. The whole thinking behind performance analytics in WhatSales was that sellers suddenly see a spike, and a spike up and a spike down. Why has that happened? They're spending continuous money on advertising, but they don't see visibly or visually that their ranking has dropped because they've just had 1, 2, 3 negative reviews come in, and that's dropped their ranking. They're just throwing good money after bad. So the whole point of performance analytics was to be able to show sellers and owners who, exactly like you said, are insulated behind that in real time, that, you know what, cut down on your advertising here until you fix the problem. And like that, including yourself, we're able to help sellers save money on the additional overspend on advertising where it's not needed, or up till a point where a problem has been solved. But no, thank you, Ben. It seems like
that area, you know, that area for us is still pretty new to us, really. You know, and in terms of WhatSales, to us, that's almost a bonus. you know, that isn't what I was looking for. It's or, you know, signed up for. It's like, you know, the profitability side to me is the key. That's what's been missing for years for us, and what we've needed and wanted. And that was the wow moment for us. And I was like, oh my God, I think this actually does what I need. And then tagged onto that was all this extra stuff, you know, in terms of the performance, in terms of the marketing. You know, I didn't think that it'd even be possible to pull in, say, Amazon ad spend and eBay ad spend, and then, like you say, plot it onto the graphs to see where it's working and where it's not working. So that's all like bonus material for us, really. And you know, that's now up to us to take that on board and to delve into that deeper, which we're definitely going to do, and we have started to do. And again, you know, we're supported by you in that. You know, we can have interesting conversations with you and point us in the right direction. So it's all good stuff. Like I say, bonus material.
Excellent. Ben, it seems like WhatSales fits like a glove. Would you say WhatSales is now part of your day-to-day?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I mean, you know, and definitely to start with, I was dipping in it all the time, because at that point I was, you know, I thought, oh, I could become obsessed with this, almost like going in and checking every order that comes in at the end of the day. Right, I'm going to check that every order's in there and every order's accurate. But I tend to be doing that less now because I trust the system. So I'm not, you know, I'm not sort of second guessing it. I'm not sort of, okay, we'll see if it's right, because it is, you know. And when I do check things, you know, it's right. So I'm logging in, or not logging in less, delving into the orders less. So now I'll be focusing more just on the dashboards, really, and seeing where they are. You know, I love the sort of the key features on the dashboards.
Do you have your dashboard open all the time, or another tab, or?
Yeah, it'll generally be on a tab. Yeah. So we'll kind of definitely sort of on a daily basis. You know, we have the monthly targets, which we've done as a business for a few years now, kind of for our, you know, obviously everybody has targets, but we also use them for sort of staff incentives and the likes. And you can even add them into the dashboard, so that makes it easier for everybody to see. But yeah, there's several key things there on the dashboards that we just dig into. And like I say, to be honest, there's so much more in there that we've not even dug into in terms of, you know, the advertising and the Google AdWords that we've talked about.
Just over Christmas, we launched comparative charts. So we've had a lot of requests come through for comparing December 2023 to December 2022. How did that happen? How was the, say, Q4 23 to Q4 22? So we've just launched that. That's just gone live. We've also, you were the mastermind behind reclaimable VAT. So that's going live hopefully in the next few days. So yeah, there's lots of features coming in. It's just another example of something that I'm really personally proud of, that we've built a relationship with a lot of our key customers, and they really do influence WhatSales on what they'd like to see, whether it's on the dashboard, whether it's on the mobile app, whether it's on the quick views or on the detailed views. So I'm glad that's I'm glad there's a positive feedback on that. Ben,
I mean, you know, that's a great thing for it's rare to have that that you feel like you can actually drop an email and, you know, the feedback is taken on board. I'm not saying other companies don't take the feedback on board, but it's rare that you'll literally see that come into reality a week later or something. You know, it's like, so it's a good feeling, and you know, you hope that you're helping as well. It's helping us, but it's helping you.
You're actually, I know we've had other conversations, but your business is something that I'm really aspiring towards, especially on the new branding initiatives that you're going to be doing. So it's great. For me, Ben, when I was a seller and sick and tired of tech, that was one of the, I'd say, the mission statements behind WhatSales, that no matter the size of the customer, they're going to get the support, because profitability is everything. The world at large doesn't see what's happening behind the scenes. We've got solopreneurs, single moms, whatever, they're selling their stuff online. This is their livelihood, and they need the support. So I'm glad that customer support stands out and tech support stands out. Fantastic. Ben, Linnworks and WhatSales, your thoughts, your suggestions for this association and partnership, which we're incredibly proud of. Any feedback or thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, from my point of view, Linnworks was always kind of lacking in this sort of certain area. They had dashboards themselves, but to me, other than kind of like these are your sales figures, they didn't seem to really do much. Particularly, even Shopify will have a dashboard, and sometimes it always makes me laugh. Or I kind of see these companies attempting to do profitability, and it's like, why are you even trying? It's like they'll have like a cost price or something, and they'll show you profit, and you're like, well, you're not even taking into like VAT into account there. What? How could you possibly ignore that and pretend to be giving us a figure on profitability? It just doesn't work. So I mean, how Linnworks interacts now with WhatSales, from my point of view, seems really good. Really, I was really impressed, to be honest. How say we have maybe 400 or 500 sort of standalone SKUs, and then probably the same again in terms of bundles, kits, whatever you want to call them. And I was really impressed with how, on a cost price of an order, you sort of took all the kit costs, all the costs from everything that makes up the kit, totaled them together. Because again, when I went in to check an order, I was like, well, this won't be right because this is a bundled order. Worked down it, and I was like, they've got it all there. It's all there. And I think it's only like a couple of hours, I believe, is it, from if I update cost price in Linnworks until it feeding through into WhatSales. I think those times are really
couple of hours.
Yeah,
Which you're very right.
Very impressive. And I have to say again, at the start, I was a little dubious. I thought, well, we'll see if that is really the case. But it was. So, like I say, all the data, all the order stuff. Yeah, it seems to be pretty seamless, to be honest, as the integration. And it's kind of like now the two just work together, and you trust the data that's in there, which is, as I said before, that's like key to it. Really, you've got to trust the data is accurate and up to date.
Perfect. Would you recommend WhatSales to other Linnworks users?
Oh, absolutely. Other than my competitors. Can we ban them from it?
Yeah, we'll put them aside. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. No, look, seriously, as a business owner, profitability is key, and it's stressful, it's hard work, and it just makes me feel a bit better about things when you can log on quickly, see, yeah, we're doing okay today. There's nothing there that is glaring at me like this is bad. You can see it, and it's reassuring. It is reassuring. So I definitely wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody, really. And the ease of use, it's not difficult to set up. Everything just kind of happens in the background, and it works.
So dare I ask, Ben, and this is a very hypothetical, rhetorical question. Would you leave WhatSales?
Well, I can't see that happening.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, I, as a business, I couldn't see, in terms of the cost of it and anything like that. You've always, I don't know, new things come along all the time. You try them. You might try them for a few months, and then you kind of realize that actually you've not been using it for the last 6 months. So what's the point of me paying for that anymore? Or are you getting your value out of a particular product that you signed up to? A lot of the time it can be borderline, are you, aren't you? But with this, it's it's pretty obvious what you're seeing is what you're getting. You know, the figures are there. As I said before, just from a reassurance point of view, from a business point of view, you can see and you see where things are going right and you see where things are going wrong very easily and very quickly without a lot of effort. And it's not going to take the odd order here and there where you suddenly realize, oh, why have I lost money on that? And it's not going to take many of them to cover all your costs and more. and that's not even taking into account the growth potential that it shows from the other data that's coming in, all the performance data. So, you know, I can't think of any other better software at the moment, to be honest. I'm speaking you up a little bit too much probably there. Let's not go putting the prices up now, okay?
No, I suddenly feel at ease that I made the right decision a couple of years ago of giving up a 6-7 figure business to focus 100% on WhatSales, because I saw with me and hundreds of other sellers and sellers like yourself that this is a genuine challenge, and it's maybe even more than a challenge. It's a genuine problem where the assumption needs to be taken out of profitability. Data needs to be fast, concise, accurate, as close to real time as possible, so the seller can make those impacting decisions. But more so, as the owner of a business like yourself, you've got 1,000,001 things to worry about. You know, there's 100 things happening in the background, be it suppliers or be it forklift trucks or packaging or whatever. There's so many things going on that you don't want to be caught up in the nitty gritty. You want things headline, you want them now, you want them bullet points, and you want to be able to make an instant decision based off the back of that.
Yeah, and it's the reassurance, I think, that what you're doing is right.
And I'm really glad that we've been able to deliver on that. So thank you for that, Ben. I really, really appreciate it.
No, thank you.
You recently recommended some features. This is more so, I'd just like to take a moment and show appreciation that within WhatSales, reclaimable VAT, which was a huge element, has been 100% inspired by yourself. There's the cross inventory application of percentage of cost, so percentage of revenue, and a fixed currency fee. And we're adding all of those in. We've got alerts coming in. What else would you like to see on WhatSales, Ben, that would add value to your business and for sellers overall?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be stuff popping into the head all the time. I mean, like I say, some of the big stuff are, you know, you've sort of taken care of there. But I mean, I see a huge potential for it going forward. Another pain point for us has been working out your selling price to begin with, you know, which I think could be a huge point for you. It's kind of like, okay, I've got a new product. What do I sell it at? And, you know, again, I've got all these fancy Excel spreadsheets, you know, the cost price, the packaging price, all the marketplace fees. And then I want to sell it at this, you know, make X margin. So what would my selling price be? All the data for me is
work in reverse.
Work in reverse, basically. Yeah. And all the data is there in WhatSales. And then when we have these spreadsheets, then we've got to import them into Linnworks to push them through to the channels. Whereas you've got all the data there, you've got all the costs there. So it'd be like, right, this is what we want to sell the product at, and then your system pushes it back through to Linnworks, which pushes it to the channels. That would be the final piece of the pie for me, really. So you literally have one system where all your costs are in there. Yeah,
I think I'll have to get Laura.
I mean, that's a big one.
That is a big one, and I can really see value in that. But the
data is there, so you can have your target. You know, I want to make 30% margin or something. Sometimes you can't make that margin because you have to look at what your competitors are selling. You might want that margin, but you're never going to sell it at that. But you kind of have your minimums and your maximums, and yeah. But either way, however you do it, and your selling price is different on your channels. It's different on what you're going to sell on Shopify as opposed to Amazon. one might be free delivery. So, you know, you have 4 or 5 different selling prices for the same product, dependent on the channels. And I have all this in spreadsheets now. And then, you know, but then you've got to set them manually in Linnworks, whereas your system has all this already. So it's just a kind of different.
We're eradicating spreadsheets.
Eradicating spreadsheets. That's what I like.
Excel.
Yeah. Yeah, we love to hate Excel. Excel, you know, it's incredible what it does, but it's I'd rather do it in your system.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. To the audience, this is Mr. Asquith, founder and director of UK Pet Supplies. You're expanding. You've already crossed borders in USA, Canada. You're expanding across Europe as well.
Yes, trying to. Yeah, Europe's a little bit difficult for us since Brexit. Pre-Brexit, it was easy, mainly through Amazon. You know, they sort of took care of everything. But the majority of our products being animal byproducts, or what they are classed as, you know, dried mealworms and black soldier fly larvae, river shrimp, they're classed as animal byproducts, which means we can't send an order straight from the UK into Europe. Everything needs a health certificate, so we kind of need
on the ground research.
Yeah, we kind of need to get it into Europe to start with, and you know, there's different challenges there with you know, the languages and stuff like that. So I think you know, local partners on the ground in the EU will be the best way to go for us moving forwards, really. Yeah, because
perfect.
You know, the market is huge, that our brand is strong. We've already got people over there buying our products, that are aware of the products. So, you know, I think it's a big area of growth for us. Yeah, because we're already in America, Canada, Australia. You know, those markets that do well for us, really. So Europe's the missing piece of the pie, really, and which is a shame, because we used to do okay. But
no,
again, there's no point complaining about that. You just got to that's the world, that's business. You got to move on and adapt, and
either you evolve or you dissolve. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's just not enough hours in the day. That's the biggest problem.
There isn't. Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure. I can't thank you enough. And hopefully we'll be catching up again real soon in the round 2 of this, with all of your suggestions, and especially the reverse pricing in place. And by then we'll double your subscription. So
I mean, that is almost, it's almost double of it, but surely I'll get a friends discount.
Yeah, absolutely.
Influencer discount.
Absolutely, you will. Ben, thank you very, very much for your time, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks.